Open on the bed of a pickup truck, filled with computer monitors, desktop towers, mechanical keyboards, mice, printers, all of it in a messy pile that spreads from the cab to the gate. The truck rumbles down a cobblestone street, the discarded tech rattling. On-screen text reads, Los Amados, California. The car approaches an old metal gate tucked between two brick buildings. It drives through, transported into an oasis of greenery, blossoming flowers, hanging vines, ripening fruit. A sign near the entrance reads, Alice and Estrella Community Garden. The car pulls to a halt, and two young guys hop out of the cab. They're approached by Christian Estrella, played in the film by Antonio Banderas. He wipes the dirt off his hands with a handkerchief. He's sweated right through his ratty t-shirt.
Dropping off?
He sees how much stuff is in the cab.
Whoa. Where am I supposed to put all this?
Yeah, sorry about that. Charter school in the South End went under real quick. Cleaned out so fast they must have forgotten the stuff in the storage closet. Figured we'd stop here before taking it to the dump. No worries if you're full up.
Christian cocks his head, thinking for a minute, then smiles.
Nah, he'll love it. Start loading it into the pallet there.
Christian swings open the wooden door of a shack in the corner of the garden. Inside, a young man in his mid-20s is hunched over a workbench, wearing a pair of protective goggles.
Vincent! Need your help out front. Tim and Mike brought the mother load.
The young man takes off his goggles, revealing Vincent Estrella, played in the film by Justice Smith. He grins. How old?
Old. More beige plastic than IBM in the 70s.
Does this mean the recycle bin expansion is a go? Christian gives a playful shrug. Vincent pumps his fist and follows his dad out of the shed. The camera pans over to his workbench, where he's painstakingly hollowed out an old CRT monitor, removing the glass and the guts and leaving an empty shell. The camera keeps panning, revealing more electronics in various states of dismantling. Video game systems, cell phones, tablets, televisions, microwaves, and more. Dirt has been caked into all of them, tiny sprouts of green growing from the cracks. The camera floats out the window into the garden proper. In the back corner, a section has been fenced off. A wooden sign reads, The Recycle Bin, with a sticker of the old Windows logo on it, circa 1995. A stone walking path runs through a maze of these gutted electronics, which have been turned into planters. Flowers grow densely out of these plastic and metal enclosures, vibrant life contrasting with the sleek, inert devices. The camera floats down to rest in front of a desktop tower that's recently been added. We're zoomed in close on the power button. Time begins to race, the sun rising and setting and rising again in a rapid time lapse. As the days progress, a small stalk of green pushes against the power button from inside, nudging it out of the enclosure before popping it off entirely, turning into a proper stem. As the flower grows, we notice something else out of focus in the background. It's tucked back in the far corner, barely noticeable through the greenery, only detectable to us now because of how quickly it's expanding in the time lapse. It's black, ovular, vibrating with energy, swelling from nothing to the size of a watermelon. The bud at the end of the plant's stem finally flowers, obscuring the orb from our view. Title card, Pod People.
In 2022, two writers came together to finish what Universal Studios couldn't. A cinematic universe of monster movies called the Dark Universe. After 3 years and 30 scripts, their project was finally completed. Now, in 2025, they're back to attempt what's never been done before, a completely original cinematic universe entirely in podcast form. I'm Dalton DeShane.
And I'm Dylan Roth.
And you are now entering the Pod Universe.
Welcome to the Pod Universe, the podcast where we attempt to create an all-original sci-fi cinematic universe one pitch at a time. I'm your definitely the real host, Dylan Roth.
And I am your definitely fake host that was replaced actually somewhere in phase 3 in the previous podcast.
Yes, if you can find the exact episode where we replaced Dalton with Pod Dalton, then you win something. You get to become the new Dalton.
I'll give you a hint.
Welcome to the show.
It's all about the size of my earlobes. So go look at that. Yes, I'm Dalton DeShane. Welcome to the first official pitch of the Pod Universe. As you heard, we had a new voice in the mix there. That was my lovely fiance, Sarah Norcross. who will not be talking unless we have given her something to say.
What's a really normal way for you to put that? That's doesn't sound weird or creepy at all.
No, she's sitting in front of a mic, but
listen, we don't want to.
You want to say something?
We don't have a camera on Sarah right now.
We're gonna insert a shot.
There we go. And
I want to do the Melania Trump thing during the interview with Anderson Cooper. So can just talk for a little bit.
Yeah. We'll just be talking over this, and then suddenly we'll.
Hello.
Yes, Sarah, would you like to say something?
We'll get footage of that later.
Yeah.
Okay, should we just set up C camera? we should just set up another camera.
Sarah Cam.
Yes. Well, for those of you who are not watching the show or listening to the feed,
that part of the basement isn't photogenic, though. We'd have to put up more posters.
Okay,
and
so we were debating this before the show. Okay,
it's not photogenic because Sarah's in it.
We thought, wow, you're playing such a heel today.
She's flipping me off.
Okay, well, okay. So before we started recording the episode,
I love you.
We had first of all the thought. I was like, what if we had a third voice on the show? Because sometimes our scripts are more legible when we have a cast, but booking an entire cast, especially setting the precedent of doing this regularly on the show, is a logistical nightmare.
Yes. And an editing nightmare.
And there just happens to be a really good actor who lives here.
Yes.
So we were like, hey, Sarah, do you want to do the show? And then there was a whole debate just before we started recording about...
Let's recap it all in detail.
The whole thing about, like, what degree do we want to change? Like, should Sarah just be on the couch and do the whole show with us? Is that too much to throw at the audience all at once? Suddenly we're doing a new saga.
There's a woman on the show?
What? And then what we decided to do was that Sarah would join us for the scripted portions and then get to chill out during the discussion portions. And then we immediately fucked with that.
She can enter and leave as she wants.
Yes, now she doesn't have to sit here for 3 hours while we record the show.
Anyway, welcome to the episode of the show that will probably be the most listened to episode of the show because naturally, like The Mummy is the most listened to episode of the Dark Universe because people start there and then gradually some people fall off, So no pressure, but I think this episode right here will have the most ears on it of anything.
Well, we'll see what happens. Because
I mean, why would a later one have you think someone's going to come in the middle of phase 2
and
put on
the first episode of the Pod Universe, hear us talk about what we want to do, and say that's not for me.
That's true. I mean, the previous one will have, but out of the pitches, this will be the most listened to pitch.
We'll see. Maybe we'll have some really cool guest actors on a future crossover episode that will draw a ton of eyes. Maybe we'll get the real Justice Smith.
Maybe we'll get the real Dalton DeShane.
Yeah, that's true.
Finally
Who knows what they're up to?
Yeah. They're buried underneath the basement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So welcome. We wrote a movie.
Yes.
It
took about 6 weeks?
Yeah. This was really hard.
Yes, it was.
This was way harder than any of the Dark Legion movies that we did, I would say.
Well, because it's hard because we're starting from zero momentum story-wise,
exactly.
Right? We've never been in that position before in a script that we're working on together and that we have this kind of pressure on.
In the past, the only movies we've written together are the holiday specials and are like Avengers monster crossovers. In which all of the characters were established on the podcast before. And so we just had to gather them together and say, okay, what's the target we're throwing them at? And then we were off to the races. Obviously we had our planning episodes, but we actually didn't even do a planning episode for this. It was all talk off mic.
Yeah, frequently just like when we went to go visit the weird kind of lame portal that they built for the Epic Universe.
Yes, that's right.
In Manhattan, and you had to walk to work, and we just kind of talked about the plot of the movie while we were walking you to work. A lot of little conversations like that, and a lot of texting back and forth. We created a secret Discord channel that none of you can see.
That's right.
To discuss it, and we'll never release that.
But yeah, it was really hard to. I kind of broke the bare bones of the story a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the basic premise, which for pod people, I mean, it's going to be a replacement story, right? We talked about on the last episode.
Yeah, the kernel of the idea comes from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then we run off
the faculty.
Exactly. Yeah, there's been plenty of riffs on Invasion of the Body Snatchers that are not direct remakes of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah,
and this sort of takes the same idea where we start with the same sort of what if the people around you aren't who they used to be or aren't who they appear to be, and we jump off into a whole other direction that's supposed to be a launch pad for a bunch of other new directions.
Yes,
right?
And so I had sort of a couple of things that are going to happen in part 2. But we didn't know who our characters were.
Yeah, for a while we were referring to them as Red and Blue.
Yes, which is a gimmick I stole from a friend of the show, Calvin Kasulki, just putting in placeholder names.
Mhm.
We didn't know what they wanted, what their relationships were. It very slowly came together. This was the most tug of war we've played in a
Yeah.
story. Because here's the thing, is like, it really was sort of an exquisite corpse where, because we knew just very bare bones, one of us would go in and write a couple scenes, and then the next person would go in and just pick up where that left off. And so we would sometimes start veering in different directions, and then the other person would come in and sort of rein the other person back in, and then take it in their own direction. And
Of all the scripts that we've worked on together, this is the only one where, the first one so far, I would say, where it's really, really hard to distinguish my work from your work.
Yeah.
Because almost every scene was rewritten multiple times back and forth. I think there's one scene I can think of that's almost entirely Dalton, and one scene I can think of that's almost entirely Dylan.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll talk about it.
If you can guess which one, you get to be the new Dalton.
We'll talk about it in part 2, but like literally up to late last night, the final scene, we just each rewrote each other's work like
Over
4
and
or
over,
5
yeah.
times. Like, I had a draft. You basically completely deleted it and wrote your own draft. And then I was like, no, I'm going to delete that and write my own draft.
Put
and
your
then,
draft back in, you
Yes.
Frankensteined them, and then I did another pass on top of that.
And we kept Frankensteining back and forth just to get the final beat of the movie
It's
right.
important. We want to make sure we got it.
and
And I think we did.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll find out. The people will let us know. But yeah, so we don't have predictions because as of taping this, nobody even knows the pod universe exists or what we're going to do. We got a lot of predictions as to what the direction of the new show would be, and we didn't really talk about that. But
no, but let's save it, right?
Yeah,
because first of all, we haven't even talked about what the show is for anybody who's kind of new. But this is the launch pad for an entire universe of movies that we're supposed to write for the next 3 to 5 years.
And yet, one of the hardest things was making it feel like a standalone movie.
Exactly.
Because I get now why The Mummy kind of is what it is, or why the DC, like when they started Marvel Studios, when they did Iron Man, they had no idea if it would be successful and things would happen. So they really were just focused on let's make a good Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Ever since then, everyone's wanted to make a universe. And so I empathize now going in, trying to make a movie that gives you, that sort of hooks people for more and sets a lot of groundwork while also making it just feel like a single satisfying thing and not the pilot of a TV show is difficult.
A thing that I thought about is like a huge what not to do is that stupid sequence about smack dab in the middle of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice where we're just watching a bunch of like YouTube style, like a bunch of little video clips of characters who aren't in the movie.
Yeah.
Of being like, what's all this about? Well, at the moment, nothing. But
luckily,
there's
because
Jason Momoa, by God.
Because we don't have IP we're playing with, we don't know what those future things are to
We've
start
got some stuff
teasing.
written up. And also, you guys wouldn't be excited about it if we just threw it there being, hey, look, remember, we're teasing, this guy's coming. Like, yeah, what guy? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Right?
But, you know, Sarah actually was one of our early readers, and like 2 days ago gave it a read and was like, yeah, the only thing is like it kind of feels like the pilot of a TV show.
Yeah, and then we had to do another pass.
We did another pass. There were a couple things we identified that we could tweak to hopefully make it feel more standalone. And the nice thing is we announced our slate, you know, last week on last week's episode, and you can see that all of these movies are going to be vastly different from each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the characters in this movie, I don't think we're going to see them again for a while. But who knows? We haven't written anything yet.
Yeah, it turns out like that gives us a nice opportunity that if we can do this as organically as possible, where if we think there's an opportunity down the road where, hey, this would be a great place for X or Y to show up, we can do that. Which I think occasionally in, like, let's say Phase 2 Marvel, I think they were pretty good at doing.
Yeah. Well, we already did the title card, so I think at this point we can just actually dive straight into Act 1 and not keep the people waiting. Let's give them the pod people they came for.
All right, see you all on the other side of Act 1, unless, you know, we, for some reason, decide to yell at each other about something.
Yeah, this one's probably mostly going to be the movie because we don't have feedback to give.
Yeah.
We wrote it, and we think it's great.
In the middle of the script, I'm going to completely turn on this thing and decide it's a piece of shit and it's Dalton's fault.
Sarah's already read it, but I guess if she decides, if we're like partway through and she's like, wait, this isn't working.
We decided that that's not, we had a whole conversation.
I'm just saying if the spirit moves you strongly enough that you're like, I have to, yeah.
Sarah's doing
Do not.
Sarah's going to start speaking in tongues.
Can we get
at some point?
Let's just get C camera out here.
We don't have C camera.
Okay, fine.
I own a phone.
Yeah, maybe you just take a little selfie video every time you talk.
Every time I talk.
This is a disaster. This is terrible.
No, we're having fun. All right, let's go into Act 1. Act 1. Morning. Christiane Estrella's house. It's modest, cluttered, a real widower pad. A framed photo of a woman sits next to an urn on a high shelf. Christiane's late wife, Allison, a black woman in her late 50s. Christiane crosses in front of the urn on his way to the kitchen. He wears a baggy turquoise t-shirt and basketball shorts. He's staring at a tablet, reading an article, absorbed. Without looking away from it, he loads up the Keurig with a fresh pod, hits the button, and grabs a mug from the drying rack. Before he can place it, he's jolted out of his reading by a slamming sound. I need to borrow a blazer. Vincent comes storming into the kitchen at 1,000 miles an hour, backpack slung over his shoulder.
Good morning, Dad. Sorry for not knocking, Dad.
Uh-huh.
And you're up before noon. What's the occasion?
Job interview. You might want to clean that up. Vincent points behind Christiane, where the Keurig is pouring coffee all over the kitchen floor. Christiane leaps for the paper towels while Vincent brushes past him to the bedroom. Cut to the bedroom. The camera is positioned under the bed, slightly tilted up as Vincent heads straight for the closet. There's a low thrumming sound coming from somewhere nearby. Vincent doesn't notice. We cut to him pulling a slick white blazer out of the closet and heading back to the kitchen, where Christiane is down on his knees mopping up coffee.
Why the emergency blazer?
I told you, I've got an interview at Quantitude.
So what? This is Silicon Valley. Everyone dresses like me these days.
He gestures at his oversized tee. That's only for C-suites. Code goblins like me still need to at least attempt a good impression.
I never wore a blazer.
Well, you were CTO, so that's kind of exactly the point I'm making. Christiane stands and tosses a wad of dripping paper towel in the garbage. He points at Vincent's cheek.
Does your good impression allow for dirt on your face?
Vincent touches his cheek. Shit. Thank you. He heads back into the bedroom, then the attached bathroom. His dad follows. Once again, we cut to a camera angle from under the bed. The humming is a bit louder. At the right edge of the frame, the image we see is distorted. It's like the light is curving around something just outside our view. The distortion vibrates, thrumming with some unseen energy.
What time were you at the garden this morning?
I don't know, 7-ish? Couldn't sleep. Plus, I want to finish the daffodil lamps before April hits.
You know, there's no deadlines in the garden, Vincey.
Nature is nothing but deadlines, Dad. Having cleaned the dirt off his face, Vincent throws on the blazer. It's way too big for him. He tries rolling up the sleeves. His dad tries not to laugh.
You look like Rick Astley.
Who the hell is that?
Nothing. Never mind. You look great.
His dad leans in the bathroom doorway.
You don't have to do all this job hunting if you don't want to. There are still a few people at Alter who owe me favors. I can get you something entry level there, no problem.
No offense, but I don't want to start my career as the Valley's #1 Nepo baby. And I think your reputation might hurt me more than help. Christiane laughs and puts his arm around Vincent, leading him back out through the kitchen.
Establishing shot of a Silicon Valley office building, the kind that houses a dozen different tech companies, none of which are big enough yet to put their name on the building. Cut to one such open layout office belonging to Quantitude, a well-financed tech startup. It's comfortable but sterile. There's cold brew and ping pong. Vincent sits in a small meeting room, fidgeting in his oversized blazer. Enter Stephanie Lee, played in the film by Chase Suey Wonders, a woman in her late 20s sporting the uniform of a seasoned Silicon Valley engineer. Baggy t-shirt, ratty jeans, and a god complex.
Vincent?
Vincent gets up quickly.
Yes, I'm Vincent.
I'm Stephanie. I'm an operations engineer here. Our CEO, Jeff, is out sick this week, so I'll be conducting your interview.
Stephanie offers a handshake, which Vincent eagerly accepts.
I'm Vincent.
Glad we agree on that.
Stephanie opens the door to a small meeting room, and we continue there as she and Vincent sit on opposite sides of a desk. Stephanie has her laptop open. Vincent is armed only with paper copies of his resume. On both the screen and the paper, we see Vincent's full name, Vincent Alonzo Estrella.
Okay, I have to ask.
Actually, you can't.
Huh?
Legally, you're not allowed to ask me who my father is. It's state law. I looked it up.
Wow, okay. It's just... I used to work for Christiane Estrella, back at Alter.
Terrific.
And if he's your dad, then... Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, I mean.
Thanks. Sorry for playing defense. There are some hard feelings all across the valley.
Well, that's stupid.
Vincent is shocked.
I mean, sure, some people are probably bitter that the project he convinced Alter to invest tens of billions of dollars into never worked, or that he left the company before it was finished, and then it never was finished, and then a lot of people lost their jobs, myself included, actually.
Vincent cringes at this. Stephanie barrels right through it.
And of course, ever since that whole boondoggle, investment around quantum computing has dried all the way up, as has demand for the expertise that I put myself into tremendous debt to acquire, which means that despite being one of the foremost experts in my field, I will probably have to live with a roommate until I either die or leave San Francisco, a city where my family has lived for 150 years.
Vincent has become his chair.
But that's hardly Christian's fault.
He peeks back out of it.
What was he supposed to do? His wife was dying, and he had a kid to think about. Anybody in this business would have done the same thing. Actually, scratch that. This business is mostly sociopaths.
A weight lifts off of Vincent. That's the last thing he expected.
Besides, whether he stuck around or not, the thing was never going to work.
What makes you say that?
Because if there was something we could have done to make it work, I would have figured it out. I don't know why it didn't work, and it's weird for me not to know things, at least so far as quantum computing is concerned.
Stephanie gets up out of her chair and goes to the whiteboard.
But this is a job interview. Talk about what you know.
She pops open a dry erase marker and starts drawing some diagrams.
What's the biggest obstacle that keeps quantum computers from succeeding classical computers?
Decoherence. They're incredibly sensitive. They're in these airtight, radiation-sealed, supercooled vessels that are totally cut off from the outside world, and that's still not enough to negate all interference.
So, how was your father's computer going to solve that problem?
Well, his thought was, if the problem is the outside world, what if you built the processor outside of our world?
He looks at Stephanie, excitement in his eyes. She smiles back, impressed. He's got the job.
It's dusk at the Alice and Estrella Community Garden. Christian wipes sweat from his brow and looks up from a flower bed in the direction of the recycle bin. He sees a young woman standing alone, watching over Vincent's sculptures. Christian struggles to his feet, using a shovel for balance. He coughs into his handkerchief. He looks down at the results and does not like what he sees. He folds it up and puts it in his pocket. He limps wearily to the young woman.
That's my son's work.
The woman gasps, startled. She covers her mouth, a reflex, like she's trying to hide her face or silence her breathing, as if somehow this will keep her from being perceived. Christian pulls back like a zookeeper from a familiar animal.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you. I'm Christian. I take care of this place.
The woman turns around slowly, bracing to meet his gaze. When she does, she slowly unclenches. She lets her arms fall to her sides, revealing her face. We'll call her Penny, and she's played in the film by Jamie Lawson, lately of Sinners. She's pretty, delicate, and about Vincent's age. She's been crying.
Are you all right, miss? Yes. Sorry. Thank you. You have kind eyes. Thank you. Yours look troubled, if you don't mind my saying.
Penny sighs, smiles a little, against her will. She looks down.
It's fine. I was just leaving.
Now we're floating at ground level. A reddish glow peeks through the dirt, not far from where Penny is standing. We hear that same hum, like before. Back to eye level. Christian takes a step towards her, towards the glow. When his foot lands, he winces. Penny flinches. Christian reaches for her out of reflex, leaning forward awkwardly. Back to ground level. Christian's ankle rolls strangely. We hear the crackling of bone, then a snap. His shin bones don't just break, they disintegrate like a building demolished by controlled implosion. Christian screams, then falls forward, his lower leg just a limp balloon of muscle. He flails his arms forward, reaching for Penny. She jumps backward, out of his reach. His head bounces off the corner of an old computer tower before he falls face down in the dirt. Penny cries out, almost rushes to his aid, then pulls away. In the dirt, Christian coughs, convulses, and then vomits an enormous deluge of blood.
Oh, help me!
Penny turns and runs. The dirt beneath Christian's face glows red.
Please, help me!
He vomits again in close-up, and we match cut to
red wine being poured from a box into a cheap plastic disposable wine glass. We follow the glass as someone picks it up and brings it, and a second glass, already full, across a modest but neat apartment to an old couch. There sits Vincent, who smiles up at the man holding the glasses. The man sits beside him, close and cozy. This is Liam, portrayed in the film by Jacob Batalon from the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. Wide, round, cuddly, with a warm, goofy smile. He hands Victor one of the glasses and raises his own for a toast. To gainful employment.
To real wine glasses.
They smile, clink their plastic drinkware, and each take a sip. They're enjoying the moment, but not the wine, which is awful. As soon as they've swallowed it down, they break out laughing.
Also, real wine. Like from Napa, at least. I'm not convinced this stuff even comes from grapes.
Oh, so now you're picky all of a sudden?
I've always been picky.
Vincent leans in for a kiss. Liam smiles and meets his lips. They kiss until the bathroom door opens nearby. Out steps Kinney, played in the film by Lucas Gage, who looks ready for a wild night out in 1978. The moment interrupted, the couple pulls apart a little. Kinney doesn't acknowledge this. Instead, he just faces them and asks,
How's this? Good?
Great. You look great.
Kinney, unconvinced, turns to Liam. I think you gotta pick either Elvis Costello or Billy Idol. You can't do both.
This is why everyone needs a gay roommate.
Kinney turns around and returns to the bathroom to make adjustments. Vincent turns to Liam. They share a laugh. Vincent takes another sip of terrible wine.
Next time we have something to celebrate, I'll bring a bottle of something from my dad's collection. He won't notice. He barely drinks anymore.
Liam swishes a thought around in his mouth for a moment. How are things with your dad?
He's good. He's enjoying retirement, working in the community garden. I think he's learning guitar.
I mean, how are things with you and your dad?
Oh. They're fine. Better than ever, actually.
Does he know about me?
Well, yeah, you've been having dinner at our house since we were in middle school.
Dumbass, I mean, does he know we're dating? Vincent shifts in his seat.
He knows I'm seeing somebody.
A man.
I mean, if I were dating a woman, that's news he'd definitely want to hear.
Vincent, if you don't feel like you can tell him you have a boyfriend, then things between you two are not fine.
We're getting along really well. We don't fight anymore. We don't even talk about it anymore.
Well, you should talk about it. Your dad's a really big part of your life, and I want to be a big part of your life too. Don't think I didn't notice that those dinner invitations stopped once we started seeing each other. Vincent is about to say something, but is interrupted when his phone vibrates loudly on the table. It's a call from an unknown number.
Hello? Yes, this is Vincent Estrella.
The blood leaves Vincent's face.
I'll be right there.
Cuts of Vincent and Liam sitting in a hospital waiting area. Vincent's knee bounces up and down nervously. Liam squeezes his hand.
I hate this place.
Hospitals are scary.
No, I mean, I used to spend a lot of time here.
Oh, right. Vincent leans his head on Liam's shoulder. Before he can get comfortable,
Mr. Estrella?
a doctor arrives with a clipboard. Vincent jumps to his feet.
Yes, that's me.
Your father is stable, but I'm sorry, the news isn't good.
Liam rises too and takes Vincent's hand.
Cancer.
Yes, but that's not all.
What do you mean?
The doctor's report continues as we cut to a dark hospital room tracking slowly up Christian's limp body. His leg has been set in a cast.
He's suffering from severe aplastic anemia. His bones are breaking down, which led to a total collapse of his left tibia and fibula. There are dark purpura skin lesions on his chest and back, and he seems to have suffered a severe abdominal hemorrhage.
Continuously, we track up to his chest.
We found tumors in his chest and abdomen of a concentration typically associated with acute radiation poisoning, but there are no lingering traces of dangerous radiation. At this point, the cancer is less likely to kill him than infection.
How long does he have?
Now up to Christian's sleeping face, turned towards us, away from his son, who sits vigilantly beside him. Christian has a bad bruise on his forehead, bigger than even the gauze that's been adhered over it.
We'll need to observe him for a few days to know for sure, but I think you should prepare for the worst.
Later, Vincent watches over his father. Across the room, Liam is in a big chair, passed out. Close on Vincent as he rubs his hands over his eyes. We pull back a bit and see someone's hand clasp his shoulder from above. It's Christian, with shorter hair and a clean-shaven face. Tears well in his eyes. Vincent pulls his hands away from his face and we see that he too looks different, a little younger. We're in the past. We pull back and see that the two of them are beside the hospital bed of Allison Estrella. She sleeps peacefully. Christian and Vincent are each a wreck. Vincent clasps one of his hands over the one Christian has placed on his shoulder. From over Christian's shoulder, we notice the black nail polish on Vincent's hand. Christian notices too, but then he looks past it. We rack focus, and now we see only Vincent's face. Vincent, Vincent, present-day Vincent, is startled to hear his father's voice coming from the bed in front of him. Christian is looking up at him, a teary smile on his bruised face.
Hi, Dad.
It's going to be all right, son. Vincent struggles for words. He shakes his head.
Dad, you're not...
Shh. I know. Christian reaches up to touch Vincent's face. He looks him in the eye. It's going to be all right. His eyes flick over to somewhere else in the room. Is that Willie Flores? I didn't know you were still friends. Vincent follows his gaze to Liam, who is slumped over clumsily in his chair. He snores.
Oh, yeah. He goes by Liam now, actually. Also, he's,
Vincent looks at the sleeping Liam for a long beat, then turns to his father.
He's my boyfriend?
Christian is still looking at Liam. From profile, Vincent can't fully gauge his reaction. He used to be so skinny. When Christian turns back to Vincent, we see that he's smiling. Does he have a good job? Vincent laughs. They laugh together.
No. He's in video game design.
That sounds like a good job.
It's not. It's terrible.
They laugh for a bit, both watching Liam snore. Vincent turns back to Christian.
I just got a good job, though.
You did?
Yeah.
The one at Quantitude?
I just accepted the offer this afternoon.
Christian tries to sit up. That's great news, Vincent. We should celebrate. Ah! He immediately regrets the exertion.
Dad.
Christian gestures for Vincent to keep his seat, then sinks back into bed. He lays flat, looking up at the ceiling. When they let me out of here, we'll celebrate your new job together, huh? The three of us. Vincent takes Christian's hand. Tears drip down his face. He nods. We pull back as Vincent leans his head into his father's chest. Christian strokes his son's hair. Liam sleeps peacefully.
Cut to the Quantitude office. Amidst a sea of men in ill-fitting t-shirts and cargo shorts sits Stephanie, staring without blinking at her ultra-wide monitor. She types furiously in multiple windows, working on her code stack, debugging something in a language that, in our world, does not yet exist. It's extremely complicated. None of the code monkeys in the audience should be able to decipher it. She's distracted when her cell phone rings. The caller ID reads spam risk. She thinks about it, then answers.
Look, if you don't take me off your goddamn call list...
Stephanie? Stephanie, it's Alec. Alec Cross?
Stephanie is taken aback.
Alec? I'm sorry, I didn't recognize your number. Are you still at Alter?
Yes, that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. I need to tell you something as soon as possible.
Okay, shoot.
Not over the phone. Can you meet me tomorrow night? That Mexican spot at McDougal where we used to do your review?
Sure, but look, if this is some corporate espionage shit, I don't know if I want to get involved. I got a stable thing here.
It's bigger than that. 9 p.m. tomorrow, please.
He hangs up. Stephanie sits in silence.
I need a fucking Red Bull.
Cut to the next morning. Vincent is in the garden, working on his hands and knees in the recycle bin, hands in the soil. We view him from a distance, the camera positioned behind a gathering of plants. At the bottom of the frame, the light bends around a gradual curvature. Something black thrums at the very edge, emitting a barely perceptible bassy hum. Another angle, a little closer, the camera at soil level. The dirt in the foreground glows red. Vincent pulls out weeds with furious energy, trying not to cry. Switch to a standard medium shot of Vincent as he loses the battle, sitting back on his haunches and sobbing. He goes to wipe the tears from his cheek with the heel of his hand and stops. Under the dirt that streaks his palms, his hands are bright red, blistering. Radiation burns. He barely has time to process this when his phone rings. He grabs it out of his pocket, but it hurts to hold it. He drops it on the dirt in front of him and puts it on speakerphone. Hello?
Hi, this is Darling Hospital calling for Vincent Estrella.
Yeah, hi, what's up?
Have you seen your Father's Day, sir?
Vincent's eyes narrow. What are you talking about? He's there, with you.
Yes, you're right, sir. I know this is probably hard to hear, but when the nurse went to check on him this morning, he was missing.
Missing? His fucking leg collapsed. Where could he go? On screen, a notification pops up. A message from Liam. It says, "Hey, have you seen what's going on at Alter?" Another message that reads, "Liam sent a link." The nurse is still apologizing as Vincent taps the link. It takes him to a recently ended live stream from Alter HQ. Christian is in the lobby, being pulled away by a team of security guards. He's shouting something, but the video is muted. His leg is fine. He looks healthy. Yeah, hold on. I'll call you back. Vincent hangs up the call and unmutes the video. Christian is shouting.
What the fuck are you doing? Let go of me! I'm the goddamn CTO of this company. Do you realize how fast your ass is gonna be out on the street? I just need to get to my fucking office.
Vincent closes the video and runs out of the garden. Cut to Christian sitting on a bus stop bench, elbows on his knees, stewing. He bears no sign of his earlier illness. A car pulls up to the bus stop. Christian looks up and sees Vincent behind the wheel. He narrows his eyes, wary. Come on, get in. Christian does so. He slouches in the passenger seat as Vincent drives off. He won't look at his son, just stares blankly out the window. Hey. Christian doesn't respond. You want to tell me what's going on?
Nothing. I was confused.
Well, that makes two of us. How the hell did you get out of the hospital? A flash of confusion on Christian's face.
They got my chart mixed up with someone else's. It was just a sprained ankle.
What? No, I saw...
Fucking incompetence everywhere. It's disgusting. It's dangerous. Thinking I'm someone I'm not.
Dad, your leg was shattered. Christian pulls up his pant leg, showing his skin.
Does that look shattered?
No. But then...
A whole leg cast for a damn ankle sprain. Then they give me God knows what drugs, make me hallucinate. I show up at altar and then make an ass of myself.
The drugs did that?
Yes, Vincent. Why else would I think I still worked there?
Vincent is quiet, confused. Christian keeps staring out the window. So, since you're feeling better, maybe Liam can come over for dinner tomorrow night? To celebrate?
Who's Liam?
Liam Flores. Willie, remember?
Right. Sure. Whatever. More the merrier.
Vincent isn't sure how to respond.
You missed the turn.
What?
You spaced out and missed the turn. Turn around.
No, Dad. That's where you used to live. We're going to your new place, on the south side. Christian's face darkens again.
Right. The meds.
Vincent nods, unsettled. The meds.
Cut to later that night at Liam's apartment. Vincent sits on the couch, looking sick with exhaustion. Liam sits beside him, one arm over his shoulders.
He keeps blaming everything on the painkillers. The mood swings, the gaps in memory. But he also took that bad blow to the head.
You think maybe he's concussed or something?
I don't know. He's not acting like himself.
Like before, the conversation is interrupted when the door to Kinney's bedroom swings open. Out rushes someone obscured in a fuzzy robe with a hood, hurrying for the bathroom. He slams the door behind him before we can get a good look at him.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's been sick like this since yesterday. Too many late nights spending daddy's money, I guess. From behind the bathroom door, we hear furious vomiting. Vincent and Liam exchange a glance.
Cut to Stephanie, sitting at a table at a Mexican restaurant alone, lazily stirring a broken tortilla chip in her salsa. She looks at her smartwatch. 9:26.
What the fuck, Alec?
Her phone dings. A text from an unknown number. It reads, Allie out back. Now. Hurry. Stephanie hesitates for a moment, then puts a 10 on the table and leaves the restaurant.
Cut back to Liam and Vincent. Look, I think you're burying the lead here. The headline is your dad doesn't have cancer. That's incredible news.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess not becoming an orphan at 25 is the important part.
Now someone else steps out of Kinney's room. It's Kinney, looking fit as a fiddle and dressed in a slim-fitting suit, the trendy thrift store equivalent of business casual. His appearance startles Liam, who leaps off the couch. Oh, shit, man! I thought you were in the bathroom. How long has someone been in there with you?
Huh? No one's here with me.
Liam casually walks past Kinney, through the living room's adjoining kitchen, towards the closed bathroom door. Hey, I'm your cool gay roommate, remember? You don't have to hide your sordid, drug-fueled sex life from me. I've seen it all. Vincent gets up from the couch.
He really hasn't. He's seen very little of it. 5-10% at most.
Kinney gives Vincent a knowing nod. But what is he supposed to know? Vincent couldn't guess.
Cut back to Stephanie, stepping into the alley behind the restaurant. It appears empty, but it's so dark it's hard to tell.
Alec?
No response.
Alec, I'm giving you 10 seconds and then I'm getting the fuck out of here.
She waits in the eerie silence.
Fuck this.
She turns to leave.
Wait!
She turns back around. A figure emerges from behind a dumpster. He shuffles slowly, hunched forward. He's backlit by the one lamp at the opposite end of the alley, so she can't see his features.
Alec?
I'm sorry. I didn't want you to see me like this.
He takes a few steps forward and her eyes adjust. She takes a step back and gasps.
Cut back to Liam's apartment as he knocks politely on the bathroom door. You okay in there? Need a hair tie or anything? Vincent stands next to Kenny and looks him up and down. Kenny is sweating. He seems uncomfortable in his skin. Vincent notes his jacket and skinny tie, and to break the tension...
So, settled on Elvis Costello, huh?
What?
The outfit.
Kenny doesn't seem to get it. He peers past Vincent and sees that Liam's attention is still on the closed bathroom door. Hello? Just give me a shout so I know you're okay. I don't want to drag any more dead bodies down our fire escape. Kenny leans in close to Vincent.
It's the least shitty thing I could find in his closet.
Vincent chuckles as if he gets the joke, then realizes he doesn't.
Whose closet?
Kenny quickly pulls away and shuts his mouth. Something spooked him, and now Vincent's a little spooked too. Liam knocks on the door again, a little louder this time. Hello? Liam turns back to Kenny. Your friend's not answering. Do you want to go in there?
I told you, there's no one else here.
Oh, give it up, man. We both saw them. I'm going to go in and make sure they're okay because unlike you, I'm a human being with empathy. Kenny's eyes dart back and forth between Liam and Vincent. His breathing is sharp. Vincent steps away from him and joins Liam by the door. Kenny slowly backs away from the scene.
Cut back to the alley with Stephanie. We finally see Alec as she sees him. He's in his early 30s and would be quite handsome, except his entire body is covered with purple lesions, the skin between gray and sickly. He's lost most of his hair, what's left clinging on desperately in thin patches. A long, thick string of saliva drips from his lower lip as if he was just vomiting.
Oh my God. What happened to you?
Acute radiation syndrome. It grew behind my desk. I didn't notice until it was too late. And with all the long hours I've been working, the late nights, 20 grays at least, maybe 30.
He suddenly keels over in pain. Stephanie takes a step to help him, but stops, afraid. After a moment, he returns not quite to his full height.
We don't have much time. The project, the exterior processor, stabilizing the quantum computer.
Alec, that was abandoned years ago. Are you trying to tell me Alter is still trying to make it work?
No. I'm telling you, it did work.
Stephanie is taken aback.
No, it didn't. I was there. With you. We saw it fail.
Oh, no, I know. You're right. What I mean is...
He stammers, unsure how to explain himself. He rubs his jaw with his hand, and then freezes, eyes wide.
Alec, are you okay?
Alec slowly pulls his hand away, and his jaw falls limp from his face. Teeth pour onto the concrete, skittering like bugs. His jawbone is split into two pieces, held in the sack of his skin like loose weights. He looks at Stephanie with terror in his eyes. He tries to speak, but it's just a panicked moan. Stephanie screams. She pulls her phone out to dial 911, but before she can, Alec collapses.
Cut back to Liam and Vincent at the bathroom door. Okay, I'm coming in. Sorry in advance for anything I'm not supposed to see. Liam turns the handle, then slowly opens the bathroom door. Inside, there is no one. Just the robe glimpsed earlier, lying limp in front of the toilet, which is still full of sick and blood. What the fuck? Vincent follows Liam inside and takes a look around. He pulls the shower curtain aside. No one in there either. Liam, nose crinkled, gingerly closes the lid of the toilet, then flushes. By chance, one of Vincent's feet steps onto the limp robe on the floor. There's a squelching sound. When he lifts his foot, the white cotton of the robe has turned pink, soaked through by something underneath. Cautiously, Vincent lowers himself down and pinches one corner of the robe between his fingers. He slowly lifts it off the floor. Stuck between the robe and the floor is a thick layer of red, pink, and black goo, like beef chuck with the consistency of chewed-up gum. Vincent looks up at Liam, who stares down at the goo with total shock.
Back to Stephanie. She runs to Alec's side. His skull immediately cracked on impact with the pavement, and blood is rapidly pooling around his cheek.
Alec, what the fuck? What do I do? How can I help?
He flails with one hand toward her phone. She sees this and hands it to him. He sets it on the pavement and with one hand types into her notes app.
Back in Liam's apartment, Vincent and Liam run out of the bathroom. The The front door is open. Kinney is gone.
Back in the alley, Alec drops his hand to the pavement, done typing. Stephanie grabs her phone and looks at what he's typed. The note says, "It worked, just not here." Alec's body spasms, and he goes limp. End of Act 1.
Our first sponsor this week is laser targeted at our audience. Since our big YouTube retrospective, I have seen multiple comments on our videos saying that someone should do an Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe, but for those bad Sony Spider-Man spinoffs. Great news, someone is doing that right now, and that would be Peyton, Jarrett, and Noah of the podcast Has to Do with Spider-Man, I think? They workshop movie scriptments based on the cinematic universe that started with movies like Venom and Madam Web, and have most recently started their second season and their own full cast crossover pitch. Dalton and I actually recorded cameos for that episode. You can find it on all podcatchers. Just search Has to Do with Spider-Man, I think, and follow them on Blue Sky at SmitPod. That's SMITPOD. This episode is brought to you by author Chase McPherson and his 5-part novel series, Bloodbound. This is a dark fantasy romance espionage tale that features a gay vampire throuple. For some of you in the audience, that is all you need to hear. But let's hear what the book review site Literary Titan has to say. Chase McPherson's writing is lush without being bloated, cinematic yet deeply personal. The dialogue sings. It's sharp, fast, and carries real emotional weight. The characters feel lived in, like old friends with bad habits. Learn more at buychasemcp.com for direct links to your favorite online book retailers. That's BYCHASEMCP.com. Or check the description in this video.
Welcome back. That was Act 1 of Pod People.
Yeah, our first big scripted portion of the Pod universe.
That's right. We've introduced a number of characters. We've got Vincent Estrella, played by Justice Smith.
And we have Stephanie Lee, played in the film by Chase Sui Wonders, voiced in this performance by Sarah. Let's cut to the Sarah Cam again.
Sarah Cam.
Oh, wait.
There's no Sarah Cam. I looked at you tried. What were you waving at? Where did you think the Sarah Cam was?
Well,
you're at the back of them.
I've given the game away now, but the bit was going to be I was going to keep cutting to the same piece of footage of her waving.
No, I think we should do that. Yeah.
Okay, well,
No, I think you should, including like the Melania shit and whatever, just like whatever I'm saying.
Yeah, just always the shot of the waving. One thing that I've been doing the last couple days, because we finished this draft Sunday or Monday, I think.
Yeah, but obviously we've been tweaking, but we got to the end of the draft on Sunday. Yeah.
I've been trying to hatchet the fuck out of this thing and tighten it up. And I think it speaks to the nature of screenwriting that I was able to cut about 2,000 words from the front half of the script and like 200 from the second half.
Especially the way that we write, or all right, more of the way that I write is I'm finding a lot of it as we're writing.
Yes.
Early on in the script when I'm still kind of figuring out what I care about and what's going to be the most important stuff, I like to follow every lead. And a lot of those leads, they were still kind of part of it, but we don't need every word of it.
Yeah.
Because I had done a pass before yours and you were like, you were able to cut anything. I'm like, not really. I don't know if I can get rid of anything. And you go through there and you're just like, oh yeah, actually all of this can go. That's actually fine. I thought we were going to have a problem, but it was fine.
We had a scene where like Vincent was calling out of work because his dad was in the hospital, and like,
we don't need it.
It was cute. Like it got some more interaction between Vincent and Stephanie at the beginning, but like it's like, that's not necessary to the plot.
A character like their boss, Jeff, was going to be a bit character, and I'll throw this in here because it got cut from the movie. When I worked in tech, I worked at a tech startup for I guess 4 or 5 years. And when I worked there, the boss was one of those guys who really like, this was his company. Like he started it in college with his friends, right? And so there was like a lot of effort to be one of the guys. I'm like, I'm normal, but he fucked this up royally once because for a week he bought a hoverboard and he started riding it around the office.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, most people were quietly like, "This is ridiculous, man. This is like really cringe." And apparently someone was pissed off enough about it to like leave like a suggestion box thing being like, dude, we know you make a lot more money than us and that's fine. Okay. But do you have to roll around on your like $X thousand fucking hoverboard toy at work while we're all like making you money. He never did it again. To his credit, he was like, oh shit, I really hadn't thought about it that way. That makes me feel awful. And like he made like at the next company meeting, like he addressed it.
Wow. Yeah, there were 2 scenes of Jeff riding a hoverboard in the first draft.
There were 2 Jeff riding a hoverboard scenes. And they were, one of them was plot important, and one of them was just to establish the character so I could do the thing later that was plot important. We don't really need either of them.
Yeah, I cut them both.
Thanks for getting rid of Jeff. Jeff is now an off-screen character only.
Yes, it's all about one-line fixes, right?
Like, was his name Jeff?
His name's Jeff.
No, I mean the real guy.
Boss.
I cannot remember.
No, names have been changed.
In any case, this was Jeff Geoff, which was definitely not his name.
Yeah. But yeah, going through and cutting those things, and then just having Stephanie be like, "Our CEO Jeff isn't here today." Boom. Save some word count.
Yep.
And
spoilers
that way,
for Act 2, we will mention the absence of Jeff. But what will it mean for our story? Tune in.
And that's how we get a shorter Act 1 than we usually do. But we are already, even with the shorter Act 1, coming up on the hour-long mark. So we should probably roll into Act 2. The other thing I wanted to address for you wiki editors out there, the name of the tech company, which I think will probably be important in our saga. I don't know. Alter, Alterr. That's 2 R's at the end. We went through several tech company names.
We did a couple names. There was an early point where you had mentioned this, like sort of as half a joke, and I was considering it a little bit. Let's do it, and then I realized it was we shouldn't cross-pollinate it or whatever. We were almost going to call it Monocle.
Yes,
like the evil tech company from your comics series.
Yes. I thought about it. I thought about making the comic series canon to the pod universe.
It would be a cute nod. I think making the comic series canon would be like a bridge too far. But the problem is by calling it that, because we live in the year 2025, that would just kind of automatically make it canon. Like we live in this weird world where if an actor plays 2 different unrelated roles in like films by the same director or studio, then people are going to be writing articles about how they're actually the same character.
Yeah,
and we're not going to do it.
We should have thrown it in as like a little background detail. Have someone like say like, there's an opportunity coming up in part 2
at some point of a bunch of other tech companies. We should have put Monocle in there.
Yeah, I think we're about to hear.
We haven't even read it yet. We'll see. Stay tuned to find out whether Dalton name drops Monocle in Act 2.
We're rewriting on the fly here.
here.
Anything else about the writing process we want to talk about here in Act 1?
Well, the only thing I wanted to mention is that we talked a little bit about how when we were doing our Dark Universe, we kind of each ended up choosing a central character.
Yeah.
And our thought early on was that we should just kind of start out with a pair of leads.
Yes.
And see if with the intention of these are our leads, and see where that takes us. Might take us in some surprising directions. Or it might go exactly where you think it's going to go. I'm not saying anything. But it's, So we ended up each picking a character. You had blue and I had red. But in the course of writing the script, we actually both wrote both of them quite a bit. Like,
yes, absolutely.
I was originally writing Stephanie and you were originally writing Vincent. But when we, even just in Act 1, most of Stephanie's big beats in Act 1 are actually yours. And a lot of the stuff coming up from Vincent that's pretty well to establish his thing, or like his first scene with Liam, that was me. But that's only in like the first draft, because over time we reread those so many times, those don't really belong to any one of us anymore.
Well, the thing is, in the Dark Legion movies, those are such ensemble cast movies that we often split them into groups and had everyone going on their little side quests. And so we could have 2 parallel plots going and each of us would just write one of the parallel plots. I mean, even thinking of like the climax of The Mummy's Hand, there were like the fights in the woods with the werewolves. I'm not going to get too deep in because we have new listeners.
Yeah.
But like there was like a whole fight scene that you were writing and then I was writing the stuff at the Black Lagoon and we could split things up that way. But when you're writing a movie like this, there is one plot and one story and all our characters are doing things together. And so we just end up writing them together.
Yeah. It's like, as you can see where we've left off at Act 1, we've had these 2 strange incidents happening, one in proximity to Vincent, one to Stephanie, and that's about as far as they're ever going to diverge in the story. We're about to put them right up against each other pretty soon. So,
yeah. All right, let's get into Act 2.
Let's go.
Act 2. Liam and Vincent stand outside Liam's apartment, talking to a police detective. Inside, cops walk around collecting evidence. There are camera flashes from the direction of the bathroom.
Say the first name again.
Kenny, like Kenny with an I, short for McKinley.
And the victim. No idea who that might be?
They shake their heads.
Honestly, none of them ever stuck around long enough for me to learn their names.
Well, hopefully the DNA samples will give us a match. In the meantime, if any names do pop in your heads, give me a call.
He hands them a card and they walk off.
Hey, I know it's late, but can we get out of here, sleep at your place?
Yeah, of course. You shouldn't have to go back upstairs and sleep right near where somebody melted. You still up for dinner at my dad's tomorrow?
Versus Hot Pockets at your place? Yeah, I think I'll take my chances on Christian's cooking.
Hard cut to Vincent knocking on the door of his father's house. Liam is with him, dressed in a corny button-up checkered shirt, on his best new boyfriend behavior. Vincent is wearing the blazer he borrowed from his dad. They stand waiting for a while. No answer. Vincent knocks again. Then rings the doorbell. Then knocks a third time. No answer.
Check your phone. Maybe he's running late.
Instead, Vincent hops off the front porch and looks through the window. His dad is sitting right there in the living room, scrolling through something on his laptop, eyes moving like he's reading. He twirls a glass of wine in one hand. Vincent reaches over and rings the doorbell again, still looking at his dad. His dad doesn't react at all. Jesus Christ.
What?
Vincent digs through his bag for his spare keys and opens the door himself. Dad? He walks into the living room, trying to keep his voice patient. Hey, it's Wednesday.
And?
We're here for dinner? Liam and I? Liam waves. Christian glances over but doesn't get up.
Hey, Mr. S. Remember me? Mr. S. Estrella? I got it.
So, dinner. What's the plan?
I think there's frozen pizza in the fridge.
He doesn't get up to make it, just goes back to reading on his laptop. Vincent waits awkwardly for a second, then says, Totally. Of course you don't want to cook. You just got out of the hospital. We'll take care of it. No response. Vincent and Liam exchange a glance and then head to the kitchen. Cut to a little while later, the three of them gathered at the dinner table. Christian is reading something on his tablet still. They eat in awkward silence for a while. Eventually, Vincent leans over to look at Christian's tablet. What you reading? We see a glimpse of the headline. It's an article from a few years ago titled, Altar Flounders After Estrella Exit. Will Shares Recover? Vincent looks worried. Ancient altar history. Feeling nostalgic? Without looking up, Christian says,
Need to catch up on what I missed before I go back.
Vincent chokes on his pizza. Go back? What are you talking about?
What else am I supposed to do all day? Putter around here?
Work at the garden. Christian looks at Vincent like he's waiting for him to finish the sentence. Mom's garden. Christian puts his tablet down.
You know, I was actually thinking that you've got the garden handled.
What?
You and Willie here can take care of it. It's Liam now, actually. Anyway, nothing's official yet. I have an appointment with Mr. D tomorrow.
Christian taps the headline with his finger and smiles.
But I have a feeling they'll be happy to take me back.
Vincent is dumbstruck. Christian grabs a slice of pizza and starts eating.
So, Liam, haven't seen you since you two were in, what, 10th grade? Yeah, something like that. What was that movie you two made for your Spanish class? El Hombre Lobo de la Noche.
Christian laughs, relaxing now.
The Hombre Lobo. You were walking around here with those dollar store wigs stuck to your hands, dripping glue all over the goddamn carpet. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Christian waves it off.
You know, it actually turned out pretty good. You two were a good team.
Vincent is still silent, staring at his pizza.
So, what brings you around? You two cooking up a sequel?
Liam opens his mouth to respond, but Vincent beats him to it. I told you, Dad. He's my boyfriend. Christian's chewing slows, like he's processing. He looks at each of them, then resumes.
Right.
Liam reaches across the table and puts his hand on Vincent's. Christian regards this like a fly landing in a soup. He looks back up at Liam and smiles a bully's smile.
So, Liam, I mean, I'm trying to remember when you two first met.
Liam unclenches a bit. Vincent, seeing something familiar and unwelcome in Christian's eyes, does not.
We've been trying to figure that out, too. We were in the same school as far back as 3rd grade, but we don't actually remember talking until...
Christian snaps his fingers as if it's just come to him.
Soccer camp. Yep, between 5th and 6th grade. Crazy how long it's been.
Christian cracks up. What? Christian gestures broadly at Liam.
Well, it's clearly been a long time since soccer camp.
Liam laughs nervously. He isn't sure yet that he's being mocked. Vincent is sure. Dad?
What? He's much bigger now. More grown up, I mean.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you mean.
Hey, it's all right. I can take a joke. See, he can handle it. He's a big boy.
I know what you're doing.
What am I doing? I'm having some fun with my prospective son-in-law.
You want to make gay jokes, but you know you can't get away with them, so you do this instead.
He said it was funny. And sure, when your son says he's dating a man, you sort of expect, I don't know, something else. I'm having a hard time picturing this.
Vincent clasps Liam's hand and holds it up for Christian to see. You don't have to picture it. It's right here. It's me and Liam eating dinner. It's him falling asleep in your hospital room because he didn't want to leave me alone at your deathbed. Liam starts to speak for himself, but Vincent keeps going. Oh my God. Does he have a good job? You were judging him the moment you saw him. I thought you'd change, but you are exactly the man you were before Mom died. Vincent gets up, still holding Liam's hand. Come on, let's go home. Liam, overwhelmed, follows as Vincent hurries for the front door. Christian stays seated, still holding his pizza.
You're so sensitive. I was just trying to be nice.
Vincent turns on a dime and marches back into the dining room. No, fuck you. Fuck you for making me think you were proud of me. Vincent and Liam walk away, leaving Christian in the dining room. He looks through the window as Vincent's car pulls away, then notices a pedestrian standing across the street. It's Penny, staring back at Christian with rage in her eyes.
The next day, at the Quantitude offices, Vincent is in the kitchen, which is flush with free muffins and the like. He considers picking one up, then reconsiders. Thought of eating makes him feel sick. Cut ahead to Vincent sitting at his new desk. He's looking at his phone, texting intently. We look at his screen and see numerous texts to Liam sent over a period from last night to this morning, all unanswered.
Hey, I'm really sorry about tonight. I promise I never would have brought you over if I knew you would be like that. Hey, you okay? At least let me know if you got home all right. Good morning, cutie. Winky face. Liam?
Vincent rushes to hide his phone when Stephanie suddenly storms in.
Oh, hey, Steph.
New guy, conference room 3, now.
She rushes past him. He grabs his laptop and follows apprehensively. He enters the conference room and shuts the door behind him. She's already sitting, looking harried.
Look, I'm sorry again for missing my first few days.
What? No, I mean, right, your dad. How's he doing?
Good as new.
I actually need to talk to you about him.
Look, I'd really rather not.
The project he was working on at Alter before he left. What do you know about it?
Not much beyond what I told you in the interview. It all sounded pretty far-fetched to me, to be honest. Something about utilizing DeWitt's many worlds interpretation to position the computer outside of our known world.
And did it work?
What? No. You know that. You were there.
Stephanie stares hard at the desk, thinking.
Wait, did it work?
No. I was there.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
The other night, I met up with my old boss at Alter. He was sick. Like, really sick. He said it was acute radiation syndrome.
Vincent goes pale.
He said he had something urgent to tell me about the experiment. That it worked, but not here. Then he died, right in front of me.
Oh my God. Has Alter said anything about it?
No, not a word. And that's not even the weirdest part. They carted his body out in an ambulance, right? Well, afterwards, I didn't see anything in the news for like a whole day. So I started calling every hospital and coroner's office in the area. None of them had a record of him.
Vincent sits at the table and pulls out his laptop.
What was his name?
Alec Cross. I think he's SVP of hardware these days.
Vincent does some searching.
You sure it was Alec you were talking to?
Yes, I am definitely sure.
Vincent turns his laptop around, showing an article from 9to5alter.com. The headline reads, Alec Cross announces new era for innovation at Alter Hardware keynote. Vincent clicks the video. It shows Alec Cross, healthy and upbeat, standing on a stage and talking about Alter's product roadmap for the next year.
Is this live?
Vincent nods. Stephanie is speechless.
Stephanie,
I'm not crazy. I swear to God, I know what I saw.
I don't think you're crazy.
Stephanie looks at him skeptically.
Why not? I would think I'm crazy.
Vincent turns up the volume on the video. We hear Alex's voice through the laptop speaker. And here to tell us all about it is our new Director of Health Technologies, McKinley Clausen. Vincent points at the screen.
Because I think the same thing happened to that guy.
On the screen, Alex shakes hands with a clean-cut young man in a sharp-tailored suit. It's Kinney. Cut to Vincent and Stephanie arriving breathlessly at the intake desk of a local police station.
Hello, we want to report a crime.
2 crimes.
At least 2. We each have one.
Not that we did anything,
No. We each witnessed the same crime.
but to a different person.
That's it, exactly. We want to report the same crime being committed on 2 different people.
Reverse angle of a dead-eyed civilian clerk. And what crime is that? Stephanie throws one finger in the air, emphatically, takes a dramatic breath, and...
Okay, we're not sure exactly.
Names.
Stephanie Lee.
And you?
Vincent Estrella.
Across the lobby, a cop overhears this. His eyes widen, and he bolts over to them.
That's ESTR.
Hey, I'll take it from here. Let me get you 2 set up with a room. Cut ahead to Vincent and Stephanie alone in the bare interrogation room. Vincent sits at the metal table, fidgeting with his hands, looking at the little holes that they connect handcuffs to. Stephanie paces back and forth behind him. The door clicks open, and in walks an older man in uniform. His shirt is decorated with service medals and the name Fraley. He smiles at Vincent. Ah, there. He takes a seat across from Vincent. Stephanie is still standing. I'm John Fraley, the chief of police. Please, have a seat, Miss Lee. Stephanie raises an eyebrow, but slowly takes her seat.
We rate the chief of police?
We want you to know that we take your concerns seriously.
We haven't told you our concerns yet.
You called in the body outside that restaurant on Saturday night. We're grateful you brought that to our attention. Fraley acknowledges Vincent. Grateful to both of you. Miss Lee, we'd like you to stay here and help us iron out a few details. Mr. Estrella, you're free to go. Vincent reflexively rises in his chair and then stops himself.
Wait, what do you mean free to go?
We just need to ask her a few questions. You don't need to concern yourself any further. I'm sure your father's waiting for you.
My father? Don't you want to hear what I have to report?
Fraley opens his mouth to object, but then smiles and gestures for Vincent to sit back down. Of course, whatever you say, Mr. Estrella. Vincent sits down, confused.
Okay, so I know this sounds crazy, but we think that someone has been replacing Alter employees.
With clones.
Fraley's face turns serious. Clones.
Look, I saw Alec Cross die at my feet. I spoke to him, and then 2 days later, he shows up on stage at the Alter keynote.
And so did McKinley, I mean. I think maybe the body we found in the bathroom was what was left of the real Kinney.
Fraley is nodding slowly, his face unreadable. Uh-huh. Would you excuse me a moment? I need to make a phone call. He gets up from the table and leaves the interrogation room. The camera follows him through the police station into a stairwell. He looks up the stairs to make sure nobody's up there listening and makes a call on his cell phone. Hey, it's Chief Fraley. I have your son here, and I can't tell if... Yep. Yep, that tracks. Okay, thank you, sir. I'll handle it. He hangs up. Cut to Christian, also hanging up his cell phone. He stands in the recycling bin at the community garden, off the path, knee-deep in flowers, looking down at something. It's our first full look at the pod. It's a pitch-black orb, slightly oblong, about 18 inches long, thrumming with energy. A purple glow spins around it rapidly, warping the light around it. Christian stares down at it, a grave look on his face. Back in the interrogation room, Fraley re-enters. Sorry about that. Something big has come up that requires my attention. I'll look into what you said and give you a call if we need anything.
Hold on, you can't...
Fraley raises a hand, then gestures it to the door. Apologies, gotta run. You can see yourselves out. He walks away, leaving the door open. Vincent and Stephanie look at each other.
So he's definitely one of them, right?
Or at least working for them.
What if? What if it's not just Alter employees?
This sinks in for both of them.
That means it could be anyone.
Cuts of Vincent and Stephanie hurrying down the front steps of the police station towards Stephanie's car.
They know we know, right? That's what the chief's quick exit was about?
I have no idea.
But if they know we know, why would they let us leave?
Why would they keep us? We don't have any evidence. We also both work for a rival company and have plenty of reasons to hate Alter. No one would ever take us seriously.
Stephanie stops in front of the car.
Hang on. He took you seriously. The chief of police was chummy with you at first. It was like he thought you were delivering me into his custody, protecting the secret.
But I don't know anything.
I believe you. But why did he think you did?
Jump ahead to the two of them in the car, rushing down the freeway. Stephanie is behind the wheel. Vincent types on his phone.
Alter's still at the middle of all of this. Alec and Kinney in the same day? That's not a coincidence. Who are you texting?
No one. Sorry. Continue.
Vincent, I need to be able to trust you. Who were you texting?
Sorry, just Liam. My boyfriend. I think he's pissed at me.
Stephanie rolls her eyes.
I'm sure maintaining your love life is really important to people who actually have one, but would you mind knocking that down your priority list a step or two? We're in the middle of a cloning conspiracy here.
Right. Sorry.
We need to get inside Alter. See what Alec knew. Figure out what he meant when he said our project worked.
Did your quantum strategy involve cloning people at any point?
No, we were building a goddamn computer, not radioactive fucking homunculi.
Vincent looks down at this, thinking about something he doesn't want to face. He unlocks his phone and starts scrolling to distract himself.
Do we know anyone else who works at Alter?
Vincent looks at his phone in confusion.
Yeah. Us?
Stephanie gives a, what the fuck are you talking about look.
We've been acquired.
What?
They announced it at the end of the keynote this morning. Alter seems to have acquired half the companies in the valley. For pennies on the dollar. CompQ, Think AI, Xplant, Monocle, and Quantitude.
What? No, there's no way. Jeff fucking hates Alter. He would never sell.
Vincent keeps reading in disbelief.
How is this even legal?
Stephanie stops the car at a red light, face blank, processing.
Jeff, our CEO, he got sick last week. He was back in the office this morning, but...
She turns to Vincent. Her amped up bravado has vanished. She looks terrified.
Vincent, what if this is much bigger than we thought?
They sit at the red light, watching the people passing by all around them. The camera follows every passerby with suspicion as they grapple with the idea that anybody could have already been replaced. The light turns green, and they keep driving. Stephanie steadies herself, willing herself back into main character mode.
We need to get inside Alter. Tonight.
You want to break into the biggest tech campus in the valley tonight, with no plan?
No. Our project wasn't on campus, too confidential. If Alec's office is still in the same place, then it's way off-site. And I know where it is. You in, new guy?
Vincent looks down at his phone. He's opened his message thread with Liam again. His most recent unanswered message says,
Will you please talk to me? I'm really sorry about my dad. I don't know what's gotten into him. Please. Yeah, I'm in. That night, Vincent and Stephanie pull into the parking lot of a nondescript one-story office building. They pull around back, out of sight of the road. They get out of the car, dressed in whatever black clothes they could find, pale blue N95 masks on their faces. They run up to the back entrance. Vincent is breathless, high on adrenaline. Okay, so what now? We hack the lock? Break a window? Kick down the door?
Calm down, John McClane.
She pulls a key card out of her pocket.
You didn't think I'd leave Alec's body there without searching his pockets first?
She scans the key card and the door opens easily. You looted your friend's corpse?
I wouldn't say friend.
Cut to a car parked in the shadows with its lights off in an adjacent parking lot. Behind the wheel is the detective who took Vincent's statement earlier. He watches Stephanie and Vincent enter the building and brings a walkie-talkie to his mouth.
They're here.
Cut to a security office where two extremely large men are sitting watching a monitor bank. Let's call them Frankenstein and the Wolfman for old time's sake. Notably, Wolfman is played by Charles Melton from Riverdale and May December. Wolfman hears the detective over the walkie-talkie and nods at Frankenstein. They turn back to the monitors, one of which shows Vincent and Stephanie entering the building. Cut to Vincent and Stephanie from the perspective of a black orb concealing a security camera embedded in the ceiling. What about the cameras? Do we have to disable them somehow?
That's what the masks are for, dumbass.
Vincent tightens his hood around his face. What about security guards?
I doubt they have any. Tech companies love trusting shit to automated systems, and I've got that covered.
She brandishes Alec's security key.
Just grab any hard drives, laptops, papers, whatever. And let's get out of here. We'll deal with the encryption later.
They split up. Vincent uses his phone flashlight to guide his way through the dark office. He's alert, jumpy, constantly looking up at the black security camera orbs. He goes from desk to desk, carefully and quietly stacking laptops into a reusable shopping bag. It's fine. The ceiling for theft is a misdemeanor is $1,000, which just means that every one of these computers is a felony. Not to mention corporate espionage, breaking and entering. Talking, 10 years? 15? As Vincent bends down to put another laptop into his bag, a hand reaches out of the darkness and wraps around his masked mouth. It's Wolfman. He pulls Vincent close, but Vincent slides out from under the mask. He pulls away and turns around, barefaced. Wolfman's eyes open wide.
Vincent?
Vincent gives him a confused look and then runs. Cut to Stephanie, who has found an office with Alec's name on it. She sneaks over to his desk and opens his laptop, protected by biometrics. Rats. She closes the laptop and puts it in her bag. When she takes it off the desk, she notices a small handheld dry erase board lying there. She shines her phone on it. The board has been erased, but like with most dry erase boards, you can still faintly see the last thing drawn on it. There are two ovals scribbled in solid black. A squiggly, wavy line is drawn around the perimeter of each. An arrow is drawn pointing from one to another. The arrow is labeled ER Bridge. Then, in all caps, one way only. Stephanie's concentration is broken by Vincent's running footsteps somewhere nearby. Then his voice. Steph, we gotta go! Stephanie rolls her eyes and zips up her backpack, then looks up to see Frankenstein standing before her.
Oh, shit.
She makes a break for it. Cut to Vincent running through the offices with the grocery bag full of laptops over his shoulder. Wolfman in pursuit.
Vincent, wait! I need your help!
I don't know you! He sprints through the door and collides with Stephanie. They grab onto each other and run through the front door, followed by Frankenstein and Wolfman. Frankenstein stops when he sees they won't reach them in time, but Wolfman follows into the parking lot. Steph scrambles into the car and starts the engine. Vincent gives one last look at Wolfman standing in the lot. He looks like he wants to say something. He glances back at Frankenstein, then to Vincent.
El hombre lobo de la noche!
Vincent reacts like he was just hit. Wolfman looks at him with pleading eyes.
Vincent, let's go.
Vincent gets in the car, and they drive off.
A little later, they drive in silence, Stephanie working things over in her mind, Vincent hyperventilating. This heavy breathing turns into a coughing attack.
Vincent, you okay?
Pull over.
She does. Vincent falls out of the passenger door onto his hands and knees, still coughing. A spatter of blood hits the pavement. Stephanie comes around to his side and slowly helps him upright.
Vincent, how long has that been happening?
That? Never.
Vincent wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. Stephanie notices the mostly healed burns on his fingertips.
What about that? Your hands.
Oh, nothing. I was working in the garden and touched something hot, I think. I'm not sure what it was.
Show me.
Cut to Vincent and Stephanie arriving at the Allison Estrella Community Garden at night. The place is empty. The sky threatens rain. Vincent leads Stephanie to the recycle bin.
Those are radiation burns, Vincent. You didn't think to tell me about that?
I'm sorry. There's something else I need to tell you.
What now?
My dad, when he was sick, it was radiation poisoning. I think he's been replaced.
Jesus Christ.
Vincent stops short. His garden has been torn up, his art projects scattered across the dirt. Vincent and Stephanie stand at the edge of a hole that's been dug in the middle of the garden. They peer over the edge, and we do too. Inside, the shining black orb lies coffin-like in a shallow grave of loose earth. It hums like a generator, pulses with dim violet light.
Tell me that's abstract art.
Vincent just stares at it, shaking his head. Transfixed, Stephanie takes a slow step forward. The dirt beneath her foot shifts.
Stephanie!
Vincent reaches out too late to catch her, and she slides into the hole. Instinctively, she puts her arms out in front of her to brace against the fall, but she doesn't touch it. Her arms hover an inch over its surface, suspended. Her skin doesn't burn. She tries to press her palm against it. She can't. With a sigh of relief, she rises to her feet, standing over it.
I'm okay. It's pushing me away somehow.
Stephanie kneels back down to examine the pod. Its surface reflects no light.
You gotta see this, dude. I can't even tell what it's made of.
There's no answer.
Vincent?
We pull back from the pit, just above, at the edge of the hole in the ground. Vincent lies on his side in the dirt, clutching his knees to his chest, shaking violently.
Vincent?
Vincent! It's another voice from the surface. Stephanie climbs out of the hole to find that someone is cradling the shivering Vincent in her arms like a child. Stephanie doesn't know her, but we do. It's Penny. Penny stares daggers into Stephanie. Why did you bring him here?
I don't know what this is. What's happening to him? Who are you?
Before she can answer, we cut to the edge of the park, where two black Escalades come to a screeching halt. At the recycle bin, Steph and Penny hear the sound of car doors slamming. Penny looks down at the shaking Vincent, then back at Stephanie. Get him away from here. Penny struggles to hoist Vincent to Stephanie's arms. She buckles under the weight.
What?
Go! As far as you can. I'll slow them down.
Stephanie manages to get one of Vincent's arms across her shoulder and pulls him along like a wounded GI. She lurches toward the far end of the garden, which is lined with tall hedges. Stephanie looks back to see men with rifles and flashlights approaching the recycle bin, backlighting Penny, who stands defiant. Cut to a reverse angle, harsh white light shining in Penny's face. She glares at the hunting party. Back to Stephanie, who drags Vincent through the hedges out of sight. Back to Penny, staring down the lights from the barrels of nondescript henchmen, which include Frankenstein and Wolfman. Wolfman talks into a walkie-talkie.
Area secure.
From over Wolfman's shoulder, in the center of the array of flashlights, emerges Christian, dressed in a sharp suit, smug grin on his face.
Does this mean you're ready to talk? I'm not interested in anything you have to say.
Behind Christian, Wolfman's stone face falls. He peers through his own flashlight beam, trying to find Vincent. In the pit behind Penny, violet light intensifies. We hear a strange sound, something between static electricity and the cracking of an egg. She turns and looks down at the pod. It looks as if its surface, if it had one, is splitting, light escaping through the void. Christian sidles up next to her. She covers her mouth in horror. From below, in the pit, we watch a hand reach out from inside the orb and search for purchase on the black surface. Something pulls itself up.
How about congratulations?
Cut to the body that's just emerged.
It's a boy.
It's Vincent. Cut to black. End of part 1.
This last segment of the pod is brought to you by author Merritt K and her new novella, Vampirocene. It's about drugs, depression, celebrity, climate change, and, of course, vampires. Here's my own personal review. Vampirocene is a really good social sci-fi, riffing on the seductive quality of doomerism and our desperate desire for someone to save us, because saving ourselves is too scary. You can buy the book at merrittk.itch.io/vampirocene. That's merrittk.itch.io/VAMPIROCENE. Don't you love radio? Anyway, I promise I don't only like it because Merritt's a friend of mine and because its protagonist is a leftist podcaster. Now back to the show.
All right, and we're back.
Halfway through Pod People.
So we got a little mystery going here. I think one of the most important things with this kind of, replacement type sci-fi is the paranoia, right?
Of course, yeah.
And so what we needed to do was give the audience the same paranoia the characters have, which means the audience can't know what's going on either.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially with these kinds of movies where we are riffing on an established thing, the mystery had to be a little different.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, we introduced, it's a different kind of pod. There's the radiation poisoning aspect. There's the tech company aspect. So hopefully we've got you guessing.
Yeah. And I think, especially through this read through, I feel like there's enough here that that listeners or viewers might be able to put together pretty good guesses as to what's going to happen. But there unlikely to just be like, oh, I know what's happening here. Exactly.
Yeah, I think you've got enough for some educated guesses.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe one or two people will correctly guess where we're leading, but hopefully no one does. One of the
You
things...
got a week is the thing. Yeah, one of the things, like, now that we're doing this in 2 parts, we do have that risk of setting up things and people are going to know right away. I mean, we did that with the Dark Legion movies, right?
Yeah, but people have time to think about it and kind of get ahead of us.
It's an
in a way.
advantage that movies often have over TV in the thriller format, right? Where if people have a week in between, reveals and clues
to get on Reddit,
then
and,
they can
lost
decode
stuff.
the thing, right? I mean, for some people, that's part of the fun, right? But sometimes it's annoying to be like, oh, well, yeah, I know what's going on. Like, like the first season of Westworld, if you can figure out the big twist there, probably by episode 3, and you're just wondering when are they going to reveal it? How long are they going to hold on to the secret that you as a viewer have probably figured out already? It's a great show.
One of the only things I did when I was rewriting Dylan is I would go through, and anytime he revealed any information, I would cross it off and be like, "Nope, we're not doing that yet." That happens in the second half of Act 2 too, where like Dylan started revealing some more answers, or even into Act 3, and I was just like, "No, it's not late enough in Act 3 yet."
Yeah, there's that, and there's the fact that I battle back and forth this a little bit because my first instinct is not to say a lot of stuff out loud to the audience because I don't like purely expository dialogue. I don't think most people do, but also it's rarely the kind of thing where people are talking to each other, just exchanging information. That doesn't usually make sense to me. And so I try to reveal as much as possible through action, and I also like to let people fill in the gaps. But I also have a voice in my head that says, you got to make sure that the listener or the viewer or whatever understands what's happening. Make sure to restate this information.
Yeah.
Make sure to give them this stuff and then this, it's the 2 wolves. And you made sure that we starved one of them, which in this case was good to do.
Yeah, because I think, as much as this is a sci-fi movie, one of my paranoias about this film, one of my worries is in the dark universe, when we're dealing with monsters and the supernatural and horror, there's a lot of opportunities for set pieces and magic and all this stuff. This is a pretty small scale film. And that worries me, being our launching pad, that like people are going to think it's boring, right? Or like we don't, like, so far the action has been mostly a kind of psychological terror or a little bit of body horror. We've got some body horror, but like our biggest action set piece was them breaking into the altar headquarters, or like the altar office.
Yeah.
And that's not really a lot of action. We'll have more going forward.
Sure.
But this is definitely small scale. But one of the things I was thinking of is like, well, the appeal of a mystery film, like a Knives Out,
is
not
sort of action. Yeah.
It's sort of it's continually twisting the mystery, and then your climax is just sort of the reveal of,
Yeah, that's where you get your good brain chemicals is being like, oh, or gotcha, or what?
And so holding everything for as long as possible, giving you enough concrete events that you can kind of hold them all and be like, how do these things fit together, but not telling you exactly. Hopefully that is enough intrigue that even if we don't have, in the future, we'll probably have spaceships,
we're going immediately to spaceships. Next month, there's going to be spaceships, there's going to be action, there's going to be explosions.
Exactly.
So,
we'll have more opportunities for set piece.
Yeah.
Los Alamos, probably not a lot of grand set pieces, but that'll be something we have room for as the sci-fi gets bigger.
Yeah,
but right now, when we're in this paranoid thriller,
it's going to be a lot less violent than what we've done in the past.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot more cerebral.
Less witches and wolfmen and stuff. Although there is a wolfman and a Frankenstein.
A wolfman and the Frankenstein. Because we love y'all.
So we're going to leave you here theorizing on the Discord. If you want to theorize with other fans, of course, you can start your 7-day free trial at patreon.com/Dylan and Dalton and hop on and talk about this in the episode thread with everybody else.
Yeah. But
See if we can figure it out. It's
a great place to get to have nice conversations. And again, beautiful, creative community. If people get together and work on scripts and support each other and do read-throughs like we're doing right now. But, now we're on like YouTube and stuff as well. So if you want to leave comments on there, we are supposed to encourage you to do that. Also, like and subscribe and hit that bell
Hit that like.
Hit the bell so you get notified when we put out episodes.
Yeah, we have to say stuff like that now.
Yeah, that's part of the rules. We're
And
supposed to
hey,
do it in the first 10 minutes or whatever, but...
If you're on podcast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever, because that helps us out as well.
Whatever. We're still going to be everywhere, so wherever you're watching or listening to this, tell everybody we're great.
Yes, follow us on
Tell
social
your
media.
friends.
We still don't know what our handles are going to be
Tell your
yet.
mom.
Let's shout out our patrons here.
All right. We want to give a big thanks to our executive producers. These are patrons who subscribe to our Patreon at the $15 a month level and therefore buy themselves a little shout out on everything that we record during their tenure there. Thank you, Brent Dreyer, Brian Egan, Mar Bendlar, Matt Thackeray, Soonmot, Speep, Mike Lee Whiplash. That one's not capped, by the way. We can have as many of those as we want. So if you like seeing your name on things and
we're not going to limit how many people can give us money.
Yeah, go ahead. Although we do only have somehow there are 11 studio executives right now. I think because maybe somebody's month is still finishing out or whatever. They're supposed to be limited to 10 because that comes with stuff that is finite. Our studio executives, $25 a month subscribers who get to pick one of the movies that we talk about in the bonus pod for Studio Mandates. We do a pitch like we do with guests. Thank you to Alyssa, the Pazuzu apologist, Bill French, Beerus, Brandon Bullock, Jasper Stark, Joe Valiant, Jonathan Morgantini, Cadle, Moose, Rich Mays, and Tom Webster. Thank you so much for your support of the show.
Later this month, you will hear us pitching a Dark Universe version of Bottoms.
That's right. Our next, oh my God. Yes, 2 weeks from this air date is the bonus pod where somebody requested, used their $25 a month little token to say we have to do a Dark Universe take on Bottoms.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait to rewatch
so fun.
it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since theaters. I brought my son. He was like 1.5 to see Bottoms.
Not appropriate.
I saw that one with my then probably under 2-year-old son and Aunt Roz.
Nice.
We went to go see Bottoms together on a Tuesday.
But we are going to leave you there until next week. And yeah,
we
we're
still
going
don't
to
have a sign off because we haven't seen the first episode's not out yet as we record this. We haven't seen if anybody had comments about what the sign off should be.
We're just going to take a little break and get some more drinks and then plow right into part 2.
Sit right back down.
Until then, don't get replaced by. This is catchy. We'll say it together.
Don't get replaced by
your
pods.
doppelganger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Clone. Later.